Hello, hello. Long time no listen-y, video-y. Sorry about the big old gap, but I've just been sort of in a big old thing with printables and stuff like that, so I kind of haven't really had a chance to do much in the way of kind of my own projects. So I'm finally starting to get back in the swing of things, and so I'm like I'm back. I finished my Day in the Life album from March of this year. So yeah, I didn't take part in the one that's happened just in the last week, because yeah, it's just too much going on, and I kind of feel like at the end of the year there's just too many projects that all kind of bottlenecks. You know, you got October daily, Day in the Life, sort of December daily prep, then we've now got this Pieces of Home that's starting soon. It's sort of a lot happening, and you know, this kind of time of the year is busy enough without adding in a whole load of projects that I know I'm not going to finish. So so I figured give the second Day in the Life a miss and just focus on finishing the first one. So that's what I've done now, so I can do a proper flip through of this for you. So yeah, I did start it. I had good intentions, you know, like back in March I started it and then it kind of all went to pot. I kind of lost the plot a bit, so I sort of gave up. But yeah, so I don't think I didn't even film a video of like part of it, so I can flip through the whole thing for you. So this is an Ali Edwards album. In fact, I think pretty much everything in here is either from an Ali Edwards story kit, one of the quarterly scrapbook kits, or from like she did those kits earlier in the year where there was just sort of loads of journal cards and things. So there's a whole lot of bits and pieces, but everything pretty much is from Ali Edwards. So so if you're looking for any of the bits, then chances are that's where you'll find them on her store. So I just got a This Day in the Life came with this album, so I just added on a little tab, and I've gone outside the page protectors, pocket protectors on this whole album, just because I felt like it had a nicer kind of feel. I wanted to kind of keep it mostly journal card size, and I just feel like that was kind of, it worked for me, but obviously each to their own. Some people like working in the pockets, so you know, no no negativity from me here. I just date stamped the 9th because that was the day of it, so I just thought I'd do that there. I've added in quite a few bits and pieces from my story kits, so where I can remember what story kits they're from, I'll let you know. So I know that this is from the Action story kit. So yeah, I just kind of added in some little bits and pieces here and there. The bits and pieces from the Day in a Life sort of kit that I brought came in this sort of plastic and yellow plastic stripy packet thing. So I just sort of chopped it all to pieces because I knew I wanted to use them. And I've got enough plastic stuff from buying things from Ali. So yeah, so I chopped this up. I just put like the first time stamp of the day was at 7 o'clock in the morning, so I just sort of pop that on there. These are from the December daily collection from last year, I think, these little acetate numbers. So I just kind of added that on there. That's an Action kit as well. And then in this one I just added a little, if I can get it out very easily, I added that little heart on there to make it slightly easier for me. Just sort of a little thing here saying like I got up early to go to the shop. So Chris came with me, so yeah, we went to the supermarket in the morning because this was all still locked down. So yes, it's a bit busy really. I didn't like it when it was getting too busy, so we sort of went early in the morning to kind of get our shopping done and then back out again before the crowds kind of started. A little picture of Clem, who looked really pensive because since we were sort of going out more, it was kind of stressing her out a little bit. Like she was getting a bit anxious every time we kind of left the house, so bless her, I felt quite bad about it, but she's getting better now because we're going out more now. But yeah, bless her, she came and sat down on her little scratching post, sort of wondered what we were up to. just sort of saying how nice it's been to be at home with her and spend more time with her since sort of lockdown and everything. This is on a Love quarterly scrapbook kit. I think it was the hearts one from the hearts kit. So there's a few little hearts and bits and pieces popping around. That little sun is from the Mornings story kit, I think. Yeah, so then kind of just going to the supermarket. So I asked Chris to take some pictures of me because I know people have done things before where they like, you can prop your phone up and you can use the timer on, if you have an Apple Watch, you can use the timer on your watch to sort of pop the phone down and then take a picture of yourself on a timer, which is really quite helpful. And I've used that before when I wanted to take pictures of myself just indoors, but I'm always a bit conscious of being in the supermarket and sort of taking pictures of myself. So I just made my husband do it. So bless him. So yeah, he took a couple of pictures of me, so I kind of grabbed the ones I liked the best, and because it was quite quiet, it kind of made it easier. I just did a little kind of fake sort of stitching zigzag here, and I used the digital kit. I got the digital kit from the action kit as well as the physical kit, so this is one of the journal cards, and then I've just kind of added that in with my photo. That's another bit of that that sort of packaging that I've just used again, because it kind of goes nicely with the yellow and the green. And then I've kind of followed a similar, if you look at Ali's day in the life from this year, you'll notice that she kind of did a kind of big sort of picture, like a solid photo, and then like a little kind of small journal card in between. I really like that look. Gives it quite a nice sort of layering, and it also means you get to use kind of both sides as a journal card, so you can either decide to have a full photo, or like you can kind of segment things up. It's just a nice way of working, so I quite liked doing that. So I've kind of mixed up where my journaling is. Sometimes it's on the back of these, sometimes it's on the front, sometimes it's on the left or the right, so just kind of moving it all around. This one just added another little photo because there were a few photos from the supermarket, so I wanted to get a picture of my basket, which I just took myself. So so if you don't have anyone with you, and you kind of, or you feel a bit weird about taking pictures of yourself in the supermarket, just in case people look at you like you're a nutter, you can just sort of do something like this, you know, because that took me 2 seconds just to get my phone out to check my list and then just boop, take a little picture, and then that works still nicely as well. Just to kind of tell the story. I used quite a few of these. These are from the Week in the Life, I think, kit. These big lovely sort of fabric patches. So I added one of those on, and then I've just used a bit of washi tape to kind of, I need to back that actually still, see anything left to do. Just kind of used another journal card to just put like, talking about finding the bits to make dinner, because I saw the day before the Week in the Life day, I'd seen Jamie Oliver like 15-minute meals, and he made this ratatouille thing with like a grilled steak, and it looked amazing, so I like wrote it all down and then found his recipe online, and then sort of thought, right, okay, well I'm going to go buy the bits for that. So that's what we went out and did that in the morning, so we kind of were ready to do that evening when we got home. So I just take a photo on the way back, on the walk back to my house, just of like, because the sun was rising. Yeah, and it was just like a nice day, kind of early morning, so just wanted to grab a picture of that out being outside, just sort of saying how it was nice because there weren't many people around, because yeah, it does sort of, it just makes it really difficult, and we've had quite a few people not really wearing masks and things in our supermarkets, and particularly back then as well, and it was all becoming a bit sort of tense, sort of staff having to tell people to kind of put them on and people not wanting to, and yeah, it was just, it's anxious enough going out at the moment without adding a whole other layer of people being dicks. So you just sort of think, could you all just not be normal? So yeah, it was kind of a bit of an anxious time. Then yeah, got back and then started work, so because I was still working from home. I still am at the moment, except for 2 days a week, but at this time I'm still fully working from home. So I'm just saying about how, because we have our office upstairs, I put these boxes on like a window ledge so Clem can sort of be raised up and look out. So she sort of stares out the window and shouts at crows. So I was just sort of talking about that. I did a little bit of stamping around this, but it didn't kind of show very much, but I just was trying to capture that pink. These are from the digital version of the quarterly scrapbooking kit. That's one of Ali's ones as well. This was from the Hearts kit, and just adding in, if there's any sort of random text, I've added in from loads of different Ali digital bits and pieces. She gives away a lot of freebies. If you sign up to her newsletter, she gives away a lot of freebies with her beautiful handwriting. So yeah, I kind of grab those where I can. And there's, you can't really see it because it doesn't really show up on the camera, but there's a little, this is from the laugh kit, and it says, "This cracked me up," because yeah, it just makes me laugh how she sort of hunches her back and stares out the window like a little Batman, like she's protecting the neighbourhood. So yeah, this was around about sort of 10 o'clock, yeah. So we started doing coffees at 10 was our kind of thing, because we were kind of both finding that we were just sat at our desks all the time. So we started doing this like disconnect in order to connect. This is from the Connect Stories kit, and just sort of talking about taking a moment away from the desk. And we kind of made it sure that at 10 o'clock we would go downstairs and we would have a coffee. We bought an espresso machine that we're both using, and just sort of talked about how we go and do that and actually get away from our desks, stand in the kitchen, kind of stretch our legs and do that each day at the same time. And it just kind of means that we're both kind of having that break and making sure that we're not just sat at our desks all day, because both of us, our jobs are quite intense, so we could easily just find that we just don't move from our desks, you know. So yeah, this is just a series of different Ali bits and pieces that I kind of use. Some of these are from the Hearts kit, that's from the Action kit, just kind of layering up these little kind of patchwork of squares. So yeah, that's cute. This is from the Hearts kit as well, and this is just from some packaging from the pie that or like the patty that I had at lunchtime. So I just sort of thought it was fun and added it on this heart. So yeah, because this is basically me saying I had a webinar just before lunch that I was watching, so I was watching that on my laptop upstairs, and then we had these little Prime Minister jerk chicken little patties, so I was cooking those for both of us, which are cute, and just had that with some little carrot batons, my fun dinosaur socks. So yeah, so then I just added on the time here in some alphas, super thin alphas. So that's just on there. Whoops. Then this is like later in the day after lunch, so just sort of saying this is another one of the Ali just phrases of like embrace what is real, and that's just on the back of another Action journal card. That's from the Ampersand kit. So I just had a little alarm clock in here because I was talking about saying that when I work from home I sort of tend to just sit for ages, and then suddenly I'm like, really need to go to the loo. So it's mad. I'll just sort of sit there and sit there and sit there, and then think, oh no, I actually need to get up now, I have to go. It's almost like running around like a nutter, and Chris is always laughing at me. I was saying how the bathroom looks really lovely at the moment because, well, back then it did. I've cleaned it again today, weirdly. But yeah, it looked gorgeous back then because I'd just cleaned it that weekend and I'd really kind of given it an epic level clean. So just saying how it looked all lovely still. So I just took a picture of some of the bits on the bath little shelf thing. So yeah, so that was nice. More kind of just generally kind of pictures of things around me. I find that when I do these kinds of things, I just sort of look around me a little bit more and kind of pay attention to things that are nice or that I'm kind of grateful for, or that are kind of I don't know, just a bit different or worth kind of talking about. So this is about me talking about tulips and sort of flowers, and how this is lovely. It says, "You make me happy when skies are grey." That's just a fabric patch, and that's from the Action kit. So this is just me basically talking about how one of the things about working from home is flowers, because when I was in the office 5 days a week, I wouldn't get home till late. It'd be dark. There was no point buying flowers because most of the time our curtains would be closed at the front of the house, so any plants or flowers that I had in the living room just wouldn't get any sunlight. So but when I'm working from home, I can have flowers because they're kind of, you know, they get to actually live and have some sunlight. So yeah, I've kind of talked about tulips being, and because this is March, so everything is kind of coming into bloom, like all my favourite flowers, so daffodils and tulips and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just kind of talking about how nice that is. Sorry if you can hear that Clem is like snoring next to me on the shelf, and just that's quite how loud her heavy breathing is. So if that's coming up on the camera, that's what that is. This one was just my real life right now looks like this. So this is just from the those big old pile of journal cards that I got in that big journal card box. I'll grab it at the end actually and show you. This is just a little screenshot I took from one of the podcasts I was listening to at the time. So it was like a Zodiac Killer one. I just took a selfie of myself because I thought I better actually try to take a couple of selfies so I have a pictures of me in this thing, because I'm a shocker for doing that. Just like taking pictures of stuff and not necessarily myself. Yeah, so this was just a second cup of coffee moment, because we don't do it anymore, but we were doing 2 cups a day, and we kind of eked it back. So yeah, so that's just me saying that's the second cup. That's Chris's Mark Maron cup, which I bought him a couple of years ago. He loves it. It's massive as well. Just saying, like, this is another one of those Ali's handwriting sort of digitals that I've just used, and this is from the Hexagon kit, quarterly scrapbooking kit. It's another one just sort of saying about how Clem gets excited when the food delivery comes because she's obsessed with plastic bags. She likes to sort of jump in them and eat the handles. So I just use this little house. I think that's from hello. I think that's from the Week in the Life kits, and then this is from the Laugh Story kit. So I've just kind of added that in there. This big picture of her like, surveying all the carrier bags. No judgment. I think that one's actually from A Case of the Blahs. It might be old chipboard. Yeah, so an old Pink Fresh kit. So I just used that in there because it's sort of fun. And then this is from the action kit. I just used this little to-do list of kind of saying the things I need to do that evening. In no kind of particular order really, and just use these little hearts to kind of chipboard hearts to kind of be my bullet points. So that's cute. This is the Jamie Oliver recipe, so I just grabbed a screenshot of it from the website because it had the whole recipe on it, so I just grabbed that, screenshotted it, and then I was using this to kind of as my guide while I was cooking. But I thought actually it's quite a handy little thing to just sort of screenshot and then print out. So if you do anything like that where you go by a recipe or you want to kind of add in any screenshots of things, you can screenshot like the news stories of the day, you know, anything like websites that you're looking at. It's quite fun to just screenshot those with your phone and then use those within your sort of documenting. So yes, I just did that with that one. It's a big go get 'em. And then again, this is from the, I think this is from the, oh, this is from the Day in the Life kit. So these, I haven't used many of them because they're just so nice, but yeah, they're like puffies for like different, documenting like different stories. So, so they're really handy. So I had used a couple of those in here. So that was just the knife and fork I used because I was kind of incorporating the red in. And then on the back of here, I've just got, yeah, just sort of explaining that I'd watched the Jamie Oliver 15-minute meals, so that was kind of how I was doing it. And we got everything in the shop that we needed except for saffron, because his rice is saffron rice, but I couldn't, you know, I mean, saffron's not exactly something that's easy to get hold of generally anyway, but we add in Brexit and add in COVID, and you know, it's not going to happen. So yeah, so it's just me sort of talking about chopping up the veg, and took a picture of just the veg on the kitchen side before I sort of started chopping it all up. This one, again, just used a bit of the action kit. That's one of the journal cards from the action kit. I just added in this little acetate house from a really old Ali kit. And then this fun is from a really old one as well. So on here I've just sort of said like how happy I was at how dinner turned out, and then just a bit of washi to kind of make a little flip of the steak that Chris cooked. Yeah, and then just used a bit of acetate to kind of adhere this another patch to this everyday life because it kind of perfectly covered the meal. And then yeah, just took another photo and then just put this so tasty in as well. Cool. And then this one is just I'd kind of popped back upstairs after dinner and was kind of working on my Schitt's Creek kit. At the time that was the kind of kit that I was designing, so so yeah, I was just kind of fussy cutting out some of the die cuts that I had made at that point. I have these big daylight lamps, so that's how I get these kind of brighter shots in the evening. So yeah, so I just grabbed a photo of that because I knew I was going to upload that to Instagram as a kind of like a sneak. And then just this little I think this is some citrus twists. This is my passion. This is from the Ampersand Stories kit. Just saying like working on my next printable kit and talking about sort of my printables and kind of how much fun I'm having making them. So yeah, it's just a nice thing, so I wanted to kind of capture that in there. And this little blooming that I used from the Bloom Stories kit, sort of about growth takes time, and that's okay, because I'm sort of talking about here about how I'm kind of getting better with each kit I make. I feel like I'm learning a lot more, so yeah, so I kind of wanted to add that in there too. This is a journal card from, I think, the Care kit, but I changed the colours of it. So yeah, I think it's more like an orangey colour normally, but I made it this green. So just kind of, again, like picked up the greens and kind of incorporated the colour palette a bit more. And then we're on to the last ones, I think. So this is me just sort of saying in the evening about how I called my mum to catch up with her, because we try to talk like twice a week, and through lockdown she's sort of been learning how to use FaceTime, so we kind of keep in touch with that. So I've got a little picture of her there and then me in the corner, so I just screenshotted that from my phone while we were talking. And then yeah, kind of mentioned that, you know, I couldn't go and visit her at the time, so that was kind of how we were getting in contact with each other. You're all right there, snoring away. So yeah, kind of just mentioning about that. And then had a shower, and then I put on a little eye mask as well. So you can't, it doesn't really come up much probably on the camera, but you can see they're kind of like these eye gels I had on, so I just took a little picture of my face with the eye gels on. And then just sort of saying about how, like, you know, the kind of important things, trying to keep more normality at the time, so like keeping conversations with my family, sort of little bits of self-care, and then also just like cat cuddles. So I've got another little bit of acetate here with this home life. And I just took this picture of Chris cuddling Clem before we went to bed, because it was so sweet. She's not really a lap cat, and she doesn't really like if you pick her up to like give her a hug, she very rarely actually stay for long, but this time she did stay, and a little paws are on his arm, and just, yeah, she just looks really content. She sort of goes all crazy-eyed when you kind of scratch the top of her head and around her cheeks, so that was just a really nice photo of the two of them, so I wanted to pop that in as well. And then I just added the back of this was, I think, the evenings kit. That one's from the evenings kit as well. These little kind of stars, the good night, this journal card. Yeah, so I just kind of added in another little bit to kind of mention that it was the evening. So yeah, so that's the whole day. A lot of pictures, a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to, you know, capture the whole day properly. So there we go. So yeah, I hope that was fun to watch. And yeah, if you have any questions about anything at all, then always feel free to grab me in the comments, or pop over to Instagram and grab me there at Nelly and Clem. And yeah, I'm always there, so happy to chat. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll leave it there, and I will be back with more videos. I'm kind of getting a bit more into the swing of things now. I've got a few things to kind of share and do, so I'll be back a bit more. So for any new people, like, hello, I am here. Sorry. And I will be back more, I promise. So yeah, lots of love to you all anyway. I hope you're all taking care and looking after one another, and yeah, I'll be back soon. Okay, so yeah, take care and lots of love, guys. Bye. you.